Welcome to episode 49 of the Frenemies podcast. We're all in person today. We're excited. Quick little message before we get in here. We know we haven't been giving out our episodes in a timely manner and content. With the college football starting and the NFL starting, we are going to be more consistent. It'll be going back to what it used to be. It'll be a lot more content. It's like season 2, so it's going to be a new us. Better episodes, better content. So I think we're all excited for that.
I would agree.
But college football recaps this episode. Carter, you said you had something to say here, so we'll let you start.
Well, there's many games I could go to. There's the big prime time one down in Columbus. It's very personal for a lot of us. There's the Georgia beatdown.
But I'm going to guess that's not what you're going to go to.
No, I'm going to go to a random one like I always do. Which we just finished up watching LSU lose a heartbreaker.
That was amazing.
To Florida State. And Jackson in our preview episode, which I don't even know if that's came out yet. Will be coming out soon.
It's out.
It is out?
Mm.
For sure?
Yeah, because you made me look really bad on the TikTok.
It's not out.
I don't know. I don't know if it's out on video.
That's on me then.
But it will be out before this video's out, and then we'll be on the schedule. Jackson says some things about LSU, and I called them losing one game where they go down to the swamp. Something magical is happening in Florida, baby. The Florida Gators, they swamped them out. They beat Utah.
They beat Utah.
That's number 7 ranked team.
They're
in
a
the
Pac-12
country.
team. The Pac-12's a joke.
LSU.
I don't
Utah's
care.
not going to be good. The highest they'll get this year is like maybe 23, and then they're going to lose. Like they're not going to be in top 25 for a week.
Something special.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
The Gators. Something
Just like the
special.
Tigers. That was legit out of your ass. You know, like
No, it
one and a
wasn't.
half players from the
No,
Tigers.
it wasn't. I fell in love. Which, by the way, also, they handled business, beat the poo-poo out of Mercer.
I would hope so.
Big time win. TJ Finley looked amazing. The defense looked good. Obviously, it's week 1. I'm not going to overreact to anything, but you are 11 weeks away from getting that tattoo. So anyway, if anyone else has any thoughts on
What's the tattoo again?
Whatever you want.
the logo, mascot, and tire fight song.
If Auburn, what is it about? If Auburn,
If Auburn's the 1 seed.
If Auburn's the 1 seed going in.
How about this? Just because I'm so confident that won't happen, I'll actually put a tattoo on my toe that just says toe. I'll put it right here, just like right on this line of my big.
Are the
foot
odds
right here.
of what I'm saying so plus that I literally have to do nothing in return? Like
Correct.
guys are
You
just willing
legit
put your
have to do
body on the
nothing.
line.
I'll legit just put like toe right here and like plain font, like Arial font.
Sounds great. I can
You
keep
gave
going
up
if you
16 points to Mercer?
Was it 42-16?
Yeah.
That's not a good showing.
It's not even a blowout.
Did they cover?
Yeah,
They probably did.
yeah, I think they covered. They were plus. What were they favored?
16 points to Mercer?
2 touchdowns. Relax.
It's only 28 points. Are you sure
It
they
was
covered?
Vegas.
What was the spread of that
I
game?
don't know. I'm trying to look. I don't know.
Because the Auburn might not have covered versus Mercer.
Nah,
Do you know-
28's a lot.
Do you know
They
where?
probably
Do
did.
you know where Mercer is?
No clue.
Mercer,
20
Tennessee.
it was
Mercer,
26.
Tennessee.
It's
Is
26.
Mercer-
Oh, so they did.
Is
Okay.
Mercer in Tennessee?
No, 26 points was what they won by.
Oh, what was the spread?
I guarantee. I think Mercer covered.
Where is Mercer University? Oh, there's multiple. Hold on. Hey, keep talking. Pick a different game.
All right, go to a new one.
I'm gonna find out where
Do we
Mercer
want to talk
is.
about the 2 big games yet? Or is there another game?
Oh
you
no,
guys
they
want
didn't
to
cover. 31.5.
It's in Pennsylvania.
Mercer covered. It's Mercer's and PA.
Roll
Yeah.
I would have never guessed
Hey,
that.
I
all
wouldn't
I
either.
know is
Old
that your team won. My Spartans looked great against Western Michigan, and your Texas won.
Dominated.
Hook
No, they
'em
didn't win, they
horns.
dominated. Texas dominated.
They're getting
Jackson,
smacked
your
by
team
Alabama.
lost.
5 minutes ago, LSU's kicker just got his extra point blocked against Florida State.
You have 2 words.
Give me the mic. Marcus Freeman. I am sorry. You are technically 0-2 as a head coach. I don't care. Notre Dame will finish with a better record than LSU. After what I just watched, the absolute shit show that LSU put on today, I am utterly appalled with Brian Kelly, Jaden Daniels, Sean Boutte, every single player on that defense, including the defensive end that got ejected for targeting today. All of you are pathetic, and you all mean nothing to me. Just pathetic. Yeah, no, I'm pissed off. What a pathetic showing for Brian Kelly. I never liked Brian Kelly.
He killed the guy.
He did kill a guy. He's a murderer, and he should be spending time in prison. It's pathetic.
Good for us, though.
Oh, Paul Sauce 3. Golf clap.
I feel like you're such a person to not like Brian Kelly. Like, I was really surprised when you.
I don't like Brian Kelly.
You're a person to like.
No, hold on, 'cause I
don't know.
I don't like Brian Kelly. He's been to multiple national championships. He's now going to an SEC school. He's getting better players than there are at Notre Dame, Indiana. I thought he was going to succeed. And Marcus Freeman's never coached before. Oh, granted, I still don't think Notre Dame has a wildly successful season.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I didn't realize LSU was this bad. I didn't know
Florida State's not good. Like, they're not a good football team.
No, that's not a good football team.
Like, they won't be. They'll win maybe 5 or 6 games, like max.
That was hard to watch.
Once they're going through some of the games.
Yeah.
Should we start Thursday night? Penn State, Purdue, big opening game.
You can start there.
That was a great Big Ten game.
It was a great start, too.
No, it really was.
We have some personal connections, obviously. I would
Who?
like to see Drew Aller a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what my dad was saying. My dad kept saying, like, why is Aller not playing? I was like, but Clifford's been the guy for the past, 3 years. Like, no, he could legit be the worst quarterback in all of college football, and I don't think he'll get benched.
Clifford's
like, he's not going to get benched.
Clifford's the definition of mediocrity. Like, you know what you're going to get. He's very consistent.
He threw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but, like...
Including
Aller's
the game-winning touchdown.
Aller's more talented.
Oh, by far. No, by far.
Yeah, but he's not ready. Like, I don't think he's ready yet. But he's definitely more talented than Clifford is.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. Penn State drops a couple games early. You see Aller late in the season.
No way.
I'd be surprised.
That's exactly what my dad said. And I said, "There's no way in hell."
Why?
Sean Clifford could legit be statistically the worst quarterback in college football this year. I don't think he gets benched.
Um,
That's been Franklin's guy for the past 3 years, and they have a connection.
If
There's
Franklin
no way.
starts losing games, though, gets in the hot seat, and it gets to the point where
Franklin can't be on the hot seat, though, because he just signed that ridiculous 10-year
I'd
lifetime
be
extension with
shocked.
Penn State.
Like, Penn State would be
I don't
very
know.
average
If they're
this year.
if they're shitty again.
No, they're not going to fire. They have to pay Franklin something like $50 million. They can't fire him.
I'd be shocked.
He has to be there for the
If
next
I'm
at least 8
Franklin,
seasons.
I'm developing my 5-star for next season and giving him 3 or 4
He won't
games.
play unless there's garbage time.
No,
I think.
I'm with
He
Hunter
won't play.
on this.
He won't play meaningful games.
And Franklin's got-
I'd put money on that. I'm very confident in that.
And Franklin's got nothing to lose. They cannot fire him. He's practically tenured now.
Yeah.
And I'll say this about Franklin, too. I got no issue with Penn State, but I do have an issue with James Franklin. He gets paid so much to be so mediocre. In his last
Yes, that's very true.
in his last 23 games as a head coach, what do you guys think his record is? I want each of you to take a guess. Last 23 games, Big Ten head coach.
11 and 12.
Yeah.
As a college football head coach?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are actually really close. He's 12 and 11. Could you imagine
500.
if Mel Tucker went 500, if Ryan Day went 500, if Scott Frost goes 500 again, if Harbaugh went 500 over a span of 22 games, you're out.
Yeah.
And then Franklin, meanwhile, gets one of the biggest contracts in the history of college
That
football.
is a great point. Even though
12 and 11 as a
Before-
college
before
football head
last
coach.
And
year-
a lot of success came from not even his players. It came from when
McSorley and Barkley.
who's the that got fired that he took over for?
Bill
Who's the coach?
O'Brien?
Yeah, with Bill O'Brien, the program he built, he left, and James Franklin's early success.
Yeah, and then,
What if
you had James Paterno, who built the Penn State.
That is a great point,
football.
though. Obviously, before last year, Harbaugh would lose to the Buckeyes every year. But he would win most, if not all, of the games up until
Harbaugh would get
one-
you 8-9 wins.
Yeah.
Yes, and he would have 1 or 2 losses at the end of the season, whereas, like Jack just said, Franklin's 12 and 11, and Franklin. I have heard no talks about Franklin getting fired, but Harbaugh.
They can't fire him. They paid him too much.
No.
And on top, you got to remember too, these include the non-conference nobodies they play.
It's
12 and 11
interesting.
over the last 23.
It'll be interesting to see how that situation plays out.
They'll be very average this year. I don't think they'll be good, but they'll be very average, like a very 500 average record. And they're not going to start being good until ours sophomore, junior year, I think.
They had a good recruiting class come in.
Oh yeah, they had a very good recruiting class. I mean, was it top 5?
Yes.
It's top 10. I don't think it's top 5. It was top 10
That
though.
was 5.
It might have been 5. It was up
I'm
there.
not sure, but
It was
yeah.
it was one of the best ones they've had in recent cycles.
Another game on Thursday. Pitt beat West Virginia.
What a
And
rivalry.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah,
too.
that was a good game.
They got to get the backyard brawl. That's got to be a yearly thing. That was so electric and such a good way to start off the season too.
And it happened before the game. The trash talk and everything was happening before the game.
Yeah.
That's what you'd love to see too.
Do you think Pitt could compete with Clemson?
No, not even close.
I don't know, man.
They weren't that good. They weren't that good.
Is it still
JT
the one dude
Daniels is the quarterback of West
Pittsburgh?
Virginia.
The coach
They
that's been
didn't
there
play
forever.
terrible
Is it still him?
defense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's his name?
I don't know. I'm blanking.
Starts with like an N. Mm-hmm. So I'll keep talking. I gotta figure that out.
No, I think the ACC is wide open this year, and maybe I'm wrong about this again because I was wrong about how LSU was going to look this year. Narduzzi. Clemson's running it back with DJ Uyangale at quarterback,
Which is a disaster last year.
He looks horrible. He legit does not look like a good. He does not look like a good quarterback. He looks terrible.
Well, they play tomorrow night when we're filming this.
Yes, they play tomorrow night, but they also lost Tony Elliott, their offensive coordinator, and then they lost Brent Venables to Oklahoma, their defensive coordinator, who everyone was saying was the best defensive coordinator in college football. So Dabo's coming in, completely new house, new OC, new DC, 2 new systems, and a quarterback that hasn't succeeded under him. I mean, Dabo's last 2 quarterbacks were Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, 2 of the best in college football. And now he's got a quarterback that can barely throw a football. I mean, Clemson barely squeaked out of wins last year against programs they never should have been in games with.
If DJ takes a step and becomes the 5-star guy, number 1 quarterback he is, they'll be in the college football playoffs. If he doesn't, they won't be. They've won a championship before. They win the ACC. They're putting them in. It's just how it is.
No, if they go undefeated and win, yeah, absolutely. And the ACC's not a good conference.
And if
it's
DJ
not special.
takes the glaring issue last year with DJ.
Yeah, because the defense was fine, but you also lose Venables. You get a new
That's
DC.
a good point. That's a great point. And if that seems to be an issue, that could present a problem. But in my opinion, DJ takes a step.
Yeah. I don't know. I think even if DJ takes a step, I don't think they're in college football playoffs. Clemson is not a top 4 team. Just in general, I do not think Clemson's a top 4 team.
They go undefeated and win the ACC. They're not in the college football playoffs.
No, I actually don't think. I actually don't think they make it in.
If Clemson goes undefeated.
Well, yeah, okay, take that back. If they go undefeated, yes, they're in. But I don't think they'll go undefeated. They'll lose a game, and it'll be
I
a
don't
bad
disagree
game.
with that. No, they will. They will.
I just don't know which game it is, but they'll lose a really shitty game, and that'll keep them out.
They could lose the opener tonight. They lost their opener last year to Georgia 10-3. They scored 3 points.
Yeah, like I said, that's a fair point.
All right.
Move to that Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's most of the games on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way now. She made me look horrible in the TikTok. So when I said Nebraska could win these games, it was a massive could, and it was not my hot take. So I don't want that blamed on me.
Oh no!
I said they could.
When your Michigan State take gets busted,
But now
it'll be okay.
Scott Frost, he's gonna get fired. he's
What a turnaround! Hey, we respect the honesty here.
Yeah, unlike some people in this podcast, I do like to admit when I'm wrong, and not just once every 3 years, once in the millennium. I do like to admit when I'm wrong.
I just admitted that I was wrong about LSU and Brian Kelly. You guys never give me credit for when I
No,
say
Jackson,
I'm
but
wrong.
it's like
I
Jason.
just did.
He's been good the past
Literally 5 minutes ago, I admitted my mistakes.
He's been
But
good. He's been good the past week.
No, you didn't. The difference is you didn't admit you were wrong.
I just did.
No, you said it was their fault.
It
'cause
was.
They're so terrible.
Exactly.
But I was wrong. I was
taking
wrong about
fault for
Brian
my
Kelly.
thinking.
Granted, LSU's
He's taking fault because
pathetic.
Brian Kelly's a moron.
Exactly.
Yes, but I am taking fault. I should have seen through the charade that was Brian Kelly. and that's my bad. I apologize. I was wrong.
But yeah, no, they honestly overall, just in college football in general, like this week, there's some great games.
was
Even
great,
the Nebraska Northwestern game, it still was like
Came down to
it was
the
a
wire.
great game to watch.
Yeah.
Beautiful atmospheres.
Speaking of games to watch, this was the craziest college football fourth quarter I've ever
we
watched
do
in my
need to talk
entire
about
life.
this.
North Carolina. Oh,
Okay, sorry. We were gonna get there, but that's fine.
North Carolina, Appalachian State. First 3 quarters, who gives a hoot?
I didn't even watch
Fourth quarter, Appalachian State puts up 40 points. That's not even what was the impressive part. Let me just take you through the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, because I turned that game on with like 10 minutes left in the fourth, and it was shootout back and forth. The ending of that game was insane. Appalachian State, they're down 7. They go on this touchdown drive. They score with about 30 seconds left. They're down 1. 2-point conversion. Presumably, you get it, you win. You don't get it, you lose. Wide receiver comes around the end, wide open. Good throw. Receiver, I don't know what he does. He starts backpedaling over his head. Incomplete. 30 seconds left. App State's got 1 timeout. Game should be over, assuming UNC gets the onside. App kicks the onside. UNC recovers the onside so well that they run it all the way back to the end zone for a touchdown, which is
the special teams coach deserves a head coaching job in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. The UNC.
Did you see how they're blocked? They legit
That was
had
amazing.
no, it was exceptional.
five on Appalachian State guys.
Did you see this?
It was amazing.
Yes, I saw the recovery, but
Did you see the block?
I was more
three pancake
Yes.
blocks on an onside kick
You
recovery.
should definitely pull it
Phenomenal.
up. I saw the clip on Twitter, but
Yeah.
Actually,
for me, it was the other way around. I was more so appalled.
No, Carter, I'm with you.
game
I'm with
at
you.
the Appalachian State special teams
never mind.
coach. I was
never mind. I should have known I wasn't with you. No, I was appalled. I was furious when the guy recovered it, and he. Well, actually, no. So here's how it happens. UNC guy recovers the onside. The 3 up men, 3 pancake blocks. At that moment, as soon as you get the ball, you're up 1. App State has 1 timeout. Get down. Game's over. Just get down. Runs it 50 yards for the touchdown. I was getting pissed off, not necessarily at the UNC player for taking it to the house, but the App State had 1 player back who was trying to chase him down and tackle him. If he gets tackled, game over. You need to let him score. So I was pissed off at 2 players on the same play. The NC guy for trying to score and the App State guy for trying to stop him. So NC scores. They're now up 8 because of the missed 2-point conversion with like 25 seconds left. Kickoff. App State returns it to the 50-yard line. 2 plays later, App State's in the end zone. Now they're down 2. It's just utter chaos. 2-point conversion gets tackled at the half-yard line. Ball game. But that onside kick still just blows my mind. There was like 4 touchdowns in the final 30 seconds.
Doesn't Nunn still coach there?
yes. I was gonna say, well, if he does, he needs to be promoted from whatever.
He's the
assistant
ends coach.
Yeah, he needs to be the special teams coach. 'Cause it was just an awful showing the entire game. I was watching a couple games in our basement in a little circle on YouTube TV, and I feel like every time I turn it on, I was watching like a 45-yard punt return. Like how? Like one, I guess I get it if UNC
They
is
shouldn't
really
even
got
been
a
in
guy.
that game though.
No, they shouldn't have.
Yeah, like UNC is supposed to be actually a competent team this year.
Yeah, they are.
And
They're only 3.5-point favorites.
App State's always like good, but like not like
Power 5.
yeah, or,
And
yeah,
did
nothing.
you see how they celebrate in the locker room? Like you beat
beat App State
by 2, and Mac Brown is trying to like hit the grid in the locker. It's the most absurd thing I've ever seen.
I don't think Mac Brown cares, to be honest. I think he's just
Oh no,
there.
he's just living his life.
No, he's
Good
just
for
collecting-
Mac Brown.
he's just collecting a
He's 70
paycheck.
years old and does nothing.
He couldn't care
He
less.
legit does nothing.
He's just collecting a
He's
paycheck.
already won his. He's already won his.
Yeah, he's already lived his
national
college
title.
football life. Now he's just riding the coattails of these others. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I guarantee he probably just goes to all the keg parties they have. Having a blast. Let's see what else we got. Illinois. I think Illinois can actually be like
Decent.
Big Ten team.
Yeah, but maybe not win like a ton
They
of
were okay
games,
last
but
year.
like play
Be
good
what-
teams
be what-
close.
be what Nebraska-
Scrappy. They could be scrappy. That's what I thought Nebraska could have been this year.
Yes.
Purdue.
Illinois.
Like
With
what
Brett
Purdue's
Bielema?
been? Like what Purdue's been?
Yeah, the scrappy team. But yeah, but they
I don't
they
hate that.
they beat
I don't
Wyoming.
Because they were pretty good last year. Like they surprised. Who'd they beat last year in a game-winning field goal? Was it Michigan State?
Maybe.
No, it was.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, because I watched that game. It was.
They won-
Iowa.
It wasn't Nebraska, was it?
It might have been Iowa. It might have been Iowa. Yo, no.
Because it was a ranked team. It was a game they weren't supposed to
Yeah.
win. No, it was Wisconsin.
Yeah, I
It was
think you're right.
Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin or Iowa.
No,
it
I
was
think it was
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
It was
yeah.
Wisconsin.
Let me look. I want to double check that, but yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been. It might have
They
been.
lost to Iowa by 10.
I love their coach. I think they play tough. I think it's gonna be tough to play against, especially at home. So I like Illinois.
I don't hate that.
Jackson, want to get some of the big games?
Yeah, we'll start out.
Whoa. One more game. East Carolina,
No one cares.
NC State. That was an amazing game.
It was good, but like, who cares? None of
the
those teams are gonna
goal
be
line.
something.
The goal line stand.
If I were that
and
kicker,
then
I
the
would
missed field goal.
considering.
Dropping the
Don't say-
football team?
Don't say something.
I would.
Smith right now.
I would consider quitting football.
Okay, there we go.
It was like and the amount of backlash he has to be getting too.
that's gotta be
It has to be horrible. He legit lost the game for him. I mean, it was a chip shot and an extra point, and he missed both
Yeah.
with under 2 minutes left. Like obviously the game wasn't on him, but like it was at the same time.
It wasn't a bad snap. It wasn't a bad
No,
hold.
he shanked it. Like,
there
legit
there wasn't
shanked it.
someone gunning down the throat right at him. Like he wasn't close to getting hit.
No, it was bad.
Oh no, that's gonna affect his life for the next 10 years.
Probably.
He has no confidence. Legit, all went away.
All right.
There were really 2 big games.
Well, let's get to the first one.
Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. I'm sorry, I keep doing this. The USC Lincoln Riley era is here. I don't care. If
It was
against
Rice. They played a grain.
I don't
They
care.
played the grain.
I don't care.
They played a grain.
I don't care if it was against Rice. I'm not talking about how much they won by or anything like that. I'm saying the offense looked like.
I would hope it would look like that against Rice.
They did no.
Rice.
I'm
What
saying
state?
Isn't it Tulsa?
Texas.
It's Texas. That's right.
But
Is it Texas or Oklahoma?
That was Oklahoma.
It's one of the two.
it's not. I'm just saying the the USC team I've seen in the years past would not have looked like that even against Rice. They would have won by 20 points or whatever it was, but
No, I could see that.
It was Texas.
Now Jackson, I
like,
think is looking like
they're gonna have to get tested. And I'm not saying they're a national title contender, but Lincoln Riley has put his stuff
If that
in.
team plays
The
a-
players are responding.
Outside the Pac-12, when they play a Power 5 team, they will give up 50 points. Their defense was horrible.
I'm not talking about their defense. I'm talking about their offense. Their
Well,
defense-
yeah, they played
of course their
Rice.
defense has work to do. It's Lincoln Riley. It doesn't matter.
Lincoln
what they're
Riley
playing.
will never win a national championship because he will
I kinda
never
agree
he
with
will
that.
never implement a defense.
No, I kind of agree with that. I don't think USC will ever
They'll never
their
compete.
their recruiting class is loaded for the next couple of years. I don't think
It's
they'll
just
ever-
offensive
they
players.
will never
I
win a
disagree
national
with they won't
championship.
compete. They will compete.
They'll compete.
They'll
but no,
compete,
I
but
don't
they're not
think-
going to they're not going to contend.
They'll be
Because
top
them,
10. They'll be top 10.
I think they'll contend.
They won't contend.
And someone who
They'll
made,
contend.
who made a great point.
They'll
They'll
float
contend the
around
same
the
way.
top 10.
They'll contend the same way Oklahoma contended. They get there and then they
Correct.
don't do
I think
anything.
the
Completely
USA
agree. Completely agree.
I think it's bringing parity to like the college football landscape because now
No, the
if
college football
USC
landscape's
becomes
dead.
if USC becomes good, then Alabama, the Ohio States of the world, and the Georgias can't just take these players from California and bring them to their program because now they're just going to go to USC.
Well, they
If
can't.
USC is a good program.
They'll be able to get them in 1 year in the transfer portal after they don't start their first year.
USC's recruiting class is loaded too for the next couple of years. But I'm with Jack. I think they'll do exactly what Oklahoma's been doing. Like just they'll be top 10, but they'll
know.
never get
I could
enough.
see
And there'll
it.
be a year where they get in and just get absolutely
I
smacked.
could see a scenario where you're in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten plays defense, so you're either gonna
They'll never win the
You're
Big
either
Ten.
gonna survive.
They'll never
or
They
win
will
the Big Ten.
struggle.
Well,
They
then
will
they're-
never
Well,
win the
then
Big
they're
Ten.
gonna die in the Big Ten. Do you think they're gonna be a bottom 5 Big Ten team?
There will be a
With
team
that
like
recruiting
Illinois
class?
beating them.
I mean,
No, that will happen.
they'll play defense at some point.
They never have.
that.
Lincoln
You think
Riley's never had a
Illinois is gonna
defensive
be- Never
There will be a
had
team
to.
like Illinois. Or
What do you mean he's
Purdue.
never had to?
He's in the
I know.
Big 12.
I'll call
If
it
he plays
now.
defense, he wins a national championship.
No,
Hold on,
but like in the
hold
Big
on,
12, he
hold
didn't
on.
have
No,
a
no,
He
no.
had back-to-back Heisman-winning quarterbacks. If he had a defense one of those 2 seasons, he wins a national
I mean,
championship.
he also
Now,
played part
when
in
USC
making them a
when USC
Heisman
gets into the
winner.
Big Ten, their first year there, like when they was it 26?
I think it's 24
24.
That's next year.
or maybe 25. It's
That was-
soon.
24, it's 2
wow.
years, 2 years.
Okay,
2
so
years.
when their first year in the Big Ten, they're going to play a team like Illinois, Purdue, and they're going to get absolutely smacked, like lose by 2 to 3 scores.
I
Like,
don't
I think,
disagree.
one game.
I think we're
Like,
giving
there'll be
way too
one
much.
game.
So this is something that I hate. That you think that every single conference other than the Big Ten sucks.
No, this is Lincoln Riley has had this happen for
No,
years.
No, I agree.
I think you put in too much stock into the Big Ten.
I
think
agree.
First off,
they
he's
will
the
beat
one
up
saying
the-
this.
I know, but you're
Lincoln-
agreeing with him, and you've always
No,
you-
because where's Lincoln Riley succeeded at an exponential level?
Does the
He
SEC
always loses to like these these low school tier teams. He loses to 1 or 2 of them each year.
Does the
And it's because he doesn't play
yes.
defense.
Does the SEC play defense?
Jackson,
Absolutely.
Yes.
almost every single one.
The
almost
SEC,
every
the
great team in the
ACC,
country
and
loses
the-
a game they shouldn't.
And the Big Ten.
Yeah, but Lincoln
play-
Riley does it every single year.
The Big 12.
And it's always the
he's
same
right.
issue, and it's the
I
reason
agree.
Lincoln Riley's never had a chance to win a championship.
The Big 12 and most of the Pac-12 does not play defense.
No, I know he doesn't play defense. I'm just saying he'll still be able to beat Purdue. And he's just like surprised when they get to the Big Ten.
I think there's
It's like the Big Ten just
there will
like
be
pure
good
physical.
people.
physicality.
No, but here's the thing: Lincoln Riley will drop it. Like he'll drop a game to Ohio State, he'll drop games to Michigan State, Michigan, and then he'll drop a game to a team he shouldn't, like a Purdue or an Illinois.
Not
Like
to mention Wisconsin and Iowa.
he will drop a game he's not supposed to drop in the Big Ten. He might drop 2 or 3 in the same season because they play defense in the Big
But
Ten.
where I disagree with them is I think what happens is he plays a Wisconsin or Iowa and they just get dominated in the trenches.
I don't
They-
disagree
they
with
just
that.
get absolutely destroyed. But I think USC adapts.
Those are a bunch of
and
California
and
bitches.
they say, all right, we got to play defense, and that's when I think they actually push for a title shot.
That'll be a while then.
They're gonna have to bring in like a
I
multi-million
don't,
dollar
I don't
defensive
think it'll
coordinator.
be. I don't think it'll be for the next. It'll be in like 3 or 4 years. when
No,
that happens.
5 to 6 even. Like they won't. They will not be title.
They
relevant for
have to
long-
get a
for at
defensive
least 5
coordinator,
years,
like
I
a
think.
legit defensive coordinator.
That's fair.
All right, we spent a lot of time on the USC Rice game.
What did I say? The big 2 games now, or we want
Oh, we
Cincinnati,
forgot.
Arkansas.
Well, should we go to Georgia, Oregon first? I mean, that game was.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that? So
3
first of all, you think Auburn
I
is
bet on
going
Oregon.
to win the SEC facing Alabama and Georgia?
Yes, I do. That was my bold take.
That's a real bold take.
So,
Is
Jackson,
Georgia, Ohio State might be the first team to beat a top 5 team and then drop in the rankings. That's how good Georgia.
I
looked.
agree. No,
That's how
completely
good
agree.
Georgia looked.
How is Bo Nix still playing college football?
For me,
Like, I was legit shocked when I saw, like, I thought he just retired.
I forgot
thought
about
he became,
him.
like, a doctor.
I saw something on Twitter that said he's the Carson Wentz of the college football.
No, he is. Honestly, it's hard to watch him play. I feel bad.
That's the thing for me. Georgia looked really good. Oregon looked way worse.
Yeah, that was really bad.
But keep in mind, Georgia lost 5 first-round picks, and to go out and win your first game 49-3 neutral site.
And that one
Stetson
tight
Bennett
end,
threw for over 300 yards.
that one tight end,
Which one? Jermaine Burton, Arik Gilbert?
For who? Georgia?
the 6'7" one, I forget his name.
No, he's not even the tight end 1.
That's Arik Gilbert, I think.
No, well, who's the tight end 1? White guy. Yeah,
Bowers.
Bowers.
Not him.
Bowers is the one that's going to go in the
Not
first
him.
round. Their backup tight end, the 6'7", 220 dude that had that.
He'll also
hurdle.
go.
Yeah.
All 3 of them will go round 1
Me
eventually.
and Hunter are sitting in our basement, and we turn on the Georgia-Oregon game. And this is when it's still
Yeah, that was
relatively close.
insane.
They run a HB zone split. The only reason I know it's because of Madden, but it's a play action. The Browns run it a lot, and they run it out, and Stetson Bennett's wilding out there, and all of a sudden he throws it to this I thought was a lineman.
He was
But no.
big. He was a big boy.
The 6'7", 270-pound man is being tackled when he catches the ball. He just puts one arm down. That guy's gone. He then starts running down the field. A safety, a poor, who I feel so terrible for because I think like literal shit would be in my pants if I had that man running at me. Goes to tackle him. I thought this was gonna be like truck, like just he's gonna run right through him. He jumps over him. There's a 6'7", 270-pound man that is jumping over human beings.
Airborne.
And he's not even tight end 1.
And he's not even tight end 1.
Georgia's good. Georgia's really good.
I think Georgia's the favorite to win the national championship.
That's
I think
not
they'll
even a bad
repeat.
take.
Yeah.
That's not a bad take. Georgia's really good.
Because their defense is still elite. And then they're all, like, defensively, how do you guard them? Because you have those 3 tight ends. All 3 are freaking natures.
Yeah.
No matter how you, like defensively, no
Their
matter how you
defense is
line
always
up.
loaded. Their defense is always loaded.
Like, I keep thinking, like, I don't know how you stop a Georgia
They have
offense.
Bennett, who's experienced.
Well, I don't know how you start up a Georgia offense and then go score on them. Like, I don't know, like,
No, I agree.
I don't
I'm
know
not
what team does that.
overreacting to anything yet, though.
I mean, I'm not either, but they looked
They
really
look really good. They did.
I mean, they looked like the best team in the country.
by far.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
All right, Arkansas Cincy. I don't know what it is, but ever since like 3 to 4 years ago, I've always been very horny for a Razorback. I'm not sure why.
Horny for
I'm not sure why, but I love Arkansas sports. And there's something about them. Like, I'm an Arkansas fan. I don't know why. But like in basketball, football, like I always want Arkansas to win, whoever they play.
Horny?
And I can never like explain why. But there's something about Arkansas.
No, you do it. The college football.
I am going to Sweet 16 like every year for the past like 3 years.
You're like, I promise Arkansas.
I swear. And like, I don't know what it is, but I love them. And watching them beat Cincinnati.
You could have chose so many words in the English language that could have described love.
Starstruck.
I cannot
Like,
wait.
Loved,
I cannot.
liked, adored, beloved.
I cannot wait till Arkansas plays Auburn and just Arkansas just smacks them by like 4 scores. I think it'll be like 49 to like 11. That's what Auburn's going to score. 11 points.
How?
3 field goals and a safety. It'll be 49 to 11. That's my score prediction for that game.
The Cincinnati Golden Era is done.
No shit.
Horny for
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm horny for some Razorbacks. I'm horny for some Hogs. That's for sure. You know how many of those would sell at the
I don't know what it
University of
is, but
Arkansas?
I like love Arkansas. It's so cool. Like, it doesn't even seem real. The entire state doesn't even seem real.
That's a great point. Everyone says I've never met anyone from North Dakota or South Dakota. I've never met anyone from Arkansas.
It's not real.
I think I've probably met more people in my life from North Dakota and South Dakota than Arkansas.
I don't know if I'm.
Where is Arkansas? Like, it's next to Mississippi, right?
It's above.
Yeah.
It's above Mississippi.
It's kind of like
Yeah, like
it's a weird shaped state.
Yeah, it is.
It's got like all these like.
I don't know what it is, but they always have players that just play really hard. And I really like
do.
that. And they're very like they get along. And I really like Nate Oates,
They're like
their basketball
They're like
coach.
one of those like deep
Or
South
shit, he's Bama.
SEC schools.
Who's
Eric Musselman.
Eric Musselman. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Oates is Bama.
Musselman's a
I like
top 5
Musselman a
coach
lot.
in college basketball, probably.
Maybe. I don't really
They
know.
play
I don't really
defense hard.
care. But
I don't
I
know.
like
I'm talking
them.
about college basketball when this college football episode, and
Yeah.
college basketball isn't starting for another.
No, it's
2 or
because
3
my love for
months.
Arkansas started from basketball, and then I just slowly started rooting for them in football.
Is this
too.
why you're so big on Treylon Burks?
Honestly, it might be just like
Who
subconsciously.
has
But honestly, it
looked
might be.
absolutely atrocious, by the way.
No, stop. No, he hasn't.
He does not look good.
No,
He's looked actually terrible.
Jamar Chase looked bad last year. Wait till week 1. He'll
Hold on,
dominate.
refocus here. Yeah, since he's done, honestly, I would like to see Fickle at a big school.
I would too.
Yeah, I
He's a
agree.
good coach.
I agree. I do like Fickle.
Yeah.
Because since he will have a good year, and they shouldn't have a good year this year, but they'll have a good year.
They'll
Like,
go
good
8-4, 9-3.
Yeah, probably.
They're in the American Conference. They'll win a lot of those games.
No, I agree
They're
with
still
that.
a solid school.
They are. They're
And
still a
Fickle-
solid team.
And
but they're
Fick's a
not.
defensive coach. He always has a good defense.
What if Fickle goes to Penn State?
Oh, how
They can't have I
Yeah,
don't think you guys
yeah.
understand.
I'm just saying, in a couple of years, let's say Fickle goes.
that could it'd be like 5 or 6 years. Like
yeah.
Franklin is buying to Penn
If Penn
State for at
State
least
goes
5.
6-6 the next 3 years, I guarantee.
Especially
you.
with
Jake,
Howard.
they
Especially
don't
with
have the
Howard.
money. They
They-
cannot.
no,
They cannot.
There's always money.
They
Yeah.
cannot
There's
terminate
always
him. It's
money.
guaranteed.
Especially
No.
with Aller. If they start struggling with
They
Aller,
Guys,
a
I don't-
coach, a
Franklin's
coach
gonna
just
get
got fired with guaranteed money. They just got rid of
Yeah,
him.
I don't think you guys
Who it was.
understand. They're not going to fire James Franklin and then pay him for 7 more years and bring in a new
sucks.
guy.
If he's
not
that
any
shitty, they
good,
go.
though.
They're not going
You know
to.
where I think Fickle ends up?
They're not winning games, they may.
Where Carter Bear?
He's going to
Bryce.
my least favorite school, the Michigan Wolverines.
Harbaugh's not leaving Michigan.
I don't think Harbaugh.
hell?
I think Harbaugh gets fired.
Fickle's gonna go. to
Harbaugh
Michigan.
just made the
Harbaugh
college
just
football
signed-
playoff.
Didn't he just sign an extension?
Yeah, he did through like 5 years.
I think they have a terrible year.
Even if the job's open, I don't know if Fickle's necessarily is gonna accept it right away.
That's where I would go. Are you kidding me? It's a bold take.
Really?
Carter.
They're storied. You have a chance to resurrect them. I mean, if he goes there and resurrects Michigan and they win the Big Ten,
Just had the best
They
year
just
in
won the
past
Big Ten.
decade.
They just won the Big Ten this year.
Michigan just had
No,
the
but
best
I'm
year in the past
saying-
decade, and Harbaugh just signed an extension. So, I
So
think the
how on
scenario
earth does
is
but he
Fickle
very
just
end
went
up
1-7.
there?
They
No,
didn't
I
have a
don't-
good recruiting class at all. He's went 1-7 against
I
the
would like to
Buckeyes
see
in the last
Fickle end
8
up at like
years.
an Illinois. I think Fickle would do good at like a very kind of mid.
No,
mid, like a mid-
Illinois is a
mid
down-
Big Ten team.
Illinois is a
if
downgrade
Fickle
for
went
Fickle
there
compared
if
to
Fickle
Cincy.
would win.
No, I agree with that. I'm trying to think of
Really?
a storied program.
But they're Power
But he
Five.
has to be for a northern school.
I think
It has to be a Midwest school,
Yeah,
or maybe an
maybe
SEC.
Notre Dame.
no, because they just hired Marcus
I know.
Freeman.
I'm just throwing out schools. I
I'm
think would
telling
make
you,
sense.
Michigan makes sense. They treat him like
No, it
Jesus.
doesn't make sense.
They would
Michigan
literally
doesn't make
It
sense
makes
at
It
all.
no
legit makes
sense at
zero
all.
sense.
He won a national championship with Ohio State. He's not going to Michigan. That's a great point. I know.
they would treat him like Jesus. They would.
No,
At
they
least stick
wouldn't.
to your points.
I think
At
Michigan.
least he's
I
a
th-
moron with his points. At least he sticks to them.
More. I have the
will
most
stick-
right
that-
points in the
that's a
podcast.
good-
You were the. That's blatantly false.
Nebraska's going to
No,
win
that's-
8
that's-
games.
That's just blatantly false.
that's a
I
good-
said could. You said LSU will definitely. You use strong words too.
I did use strong
Definitely.
words.
Guys, they still could. Both these scenarios could happen.
That's
Only
true.
week one.
Michigan
No,
has a bad
Nebraska's not
year.
winning 6 games.
I called it now.
What'd you just
Where
say?
could Fick end
I
up?
said I think Michigan doesn't have.
You know,
a great
hear me
year,
out.
and all of a sudden, Harbaugh's back in the hot seat.
I think
UConn.
Michigan was
no.
very good
Fickle's
before.
next team might be Ohio State.
Head coach?
Yeah, because I think
What?
Ryan Day is probably going to eventually leave for the NFL.
That's actually a very good point.
Like
think he
Ryan
leaves
Day
for the
coached in the
NFL.
NFL for the Eagles.
I don't hate.
And I
not-
think
The,
you know,
the NFL, as Hunter would like to say, they are horny for young offensive coaches.
I'll call it now.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Day is the next head coach of the New England Patriots. He is from Boston. He is from Massachusetts. I think when Belichick
Belichick's
retires
smart.
and they start interviewing candidates, I think Ryan Day is a head candidate for that job. And
That's a good point.
he's
Like,
from
I never
Massachusetts.
thought about
He grew
that,
up-
but
he
Day is
grew
a
up a
very NFL quarter, or like an NFL coach.
and he grew up a Patriots fan.
And once they've had Bill for so long, who's just so stubborn and
I know.
old, now that you're finally getting a new, fun, offensive guy, because you usually go for like the opposite once you're done with someone.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
And then at that point, I think
How
Fickle
long is he under contract
easily.
at OSU?
He just signed an extension. I think he's got a
But
few
he'll
years
leave
left.
if NFL comes calling.
I think New England is the only job he'd take in the
Really?
NFL because that's his team.
Really?
He grew up a diehard Patriots
Yeah,
fan.
because Ohio State's such a great job in college. It has to
Yeah.
be something.
You
that
don't
you
leave
can't say
Ohio.
no.
You don't leave Ohio State for the NFL.
I agree.
Talking about Ohio State, though, should we get to
bad
that
idea.
game?
Yeah.
Unless you want
Yeah.
any other game you want to talk about? 'Cause probably this would be
I
the
mean,
last one.
Alabama, number 1 team in the country. They opened up. What was it, 55-0 against
Utah
A typical
Utah State.
Alabama opener.
Yeah, that's how it always goes for Alabama.
Pathetic.
Can I just quick thing here, because it always makes me mad. So you said in this podcast so you think the SEC is overrated.
I do.
The Pac-12 sucks.
The Pac-12's horrible.
And the ACC sucks.
The ACC is the worst conference.
Does the Big 12 suck too?
They have offense.
They do have offense. It's not a good conference.
Okay, so the only good conference is the Big 10.
No.
Nope.
The SEC is a great conference, but
Are you saying
supremely
he's saying that or saying
overrated.
Russ?
He's saying
Okay.
that.
No, the SEC is a great conference, supremely overrated conference. They are not. They should not be put on the pedestal that they are.
Wait a minute. They're a great conference.
Yes, but they are seen as the only great conference.
See, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
They usually say the SEC is better than the Big 10.
No, they think the SEC is the greatest conference in sports by far.
I think Tennessee finishes in the top 10.
Thank you, Hunter.
What?
Thank you.
They're very
What?
bad.
They beat a bad.
I don't
man.
even know who their quarterback is, but it's just a nut feeling. It's one of those Hunter nut feelings. I have been horny for a ball as well in the past couple of years, but like I honestly think Tennessee succeeds this year. Like they've had such shitty
You have
years.
said that for the last 5 years.
No, this year I really believe it. They're looking up. They're trending upward. They might be Bama. Texas? No. Mark it now. I'll put my. No, I
So
can't do
Texas
that.
is beating
hold
Bama?
Hold on.
Tennessee's
Texas?
being
No.
And Auburn's beating Bama, baby.
No. Auburn's gonna win
Your
one game.
penis is mistaken with all these takes. That's
Hold
coming
on.
at you, Hunter.
Texas. I will say this. I'm not gonna put anything on it because I'm not that confident in it. But Texas and or Tennessee, one of those two teams is going to beat Alabama, if not both. But one of those two teams will beat Alabama this year. We'll come back in a couple weeks and I'm right.
Okay.
In the words of Hunter Smith, that has to be racist.
No, it'll happen. It
How is that
will
ra-
happen.
Okay, hold on. How is that racist?
I don't know.
It will happen.
It's not at all. It's just the same way you're Notre Dame, LSU.
No, it'll happen. It'll happen. I'm so confident it'll
This
happen
is
too.
why they have to put the SEC on this pedestal, because then morons like him can say that Alabama's going to be beaten by these.
No, because he's giving a school like Tennessee, who if Tennessee was in any other conference, no one would give a shit about Tennessee. But because they're in the SEC, top 10 potential.
No, or maybe because they have a great culture, great history, and a great fan base.
Their culture is McDonald's.
Or maybe because his grandparents go there. We don't know.
And Peyton Manning. I love Peyton.
Exactly.
They haven't
have
been
culture.
relevant since
They had
1998.
a really
They
good
have
recruiting
culture.
class.
No, they don't. They haven't
had
had culture since
They
1998.
had a very good recruiting class, and they got rid of their head
Jackson, the
coach, who was
Browns
really
They have a really good
Since
recruiting class because they
1999,
paid their
we still
recruits
for
through
them.
McDonald's bags.
well.
Can we
They
just
got
get
there
to the
somehow.
Ohio State Notre game?
Yeah, Ohio State Notre Dame.
Go Vols.
I'll be honest, I was really
What was going
disappointed
on?
with how the game went.
What was going on
Shut
during the
up.
game? Oh, sorry.
With how the game was or how we
Yeah, I was
won?
expecting like a thriller. I was expecting touchdowns, and it really was a slugfest from quarter 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
It
See,
was
I
a game.
enjoyed that.
It was a game of field position, and I was not expecting that at all. Field position.
I don't think
did-
I've
I did
ever
not-
seen you so shocked in my life when Ryan Day chose to punt it on 4th and 2 from Notre Dame's 40.
Oh, yeah.
It made no like.
That was,
And honestly, it was probably the
no.
right decision, but I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those games. It was very slow. It was very hyped up, but it was very slow, kind of almost like methodical, boring game.
Yeah, you're
It was
just
like
waiting for a team
It
to
was
Yeah.
it was
go and win
it
it.
was strategically filled though. Like I enjoyed it, but
Yeah,
I didn't
you
like how
wouldn't
we
enjoy
looked.
it. No, you wouldn't.
But
enjoy
like
it.
it was
99% of this entire country said that game was very shitty. You would enjoy this game.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I did. It was a strategically
You think you're
defensive
different.
battle. No, I don't. I just enjoyed that game. I like the high scoring. I just like it. I saw both sides, and
Yeah.
I like the strategy.
It wasn't even a good slugfest.
It was very like.
Oh, it was
No,
ugly, nasty. And the other reason I liked it is because, like I've said, for the past 48 hours and 24 hours, 24 hours.
I don't know.
Today's
Say your
Sunday night.
point.
24 hours now is when it was time. When what we couldn't do last year was when we needed a big boy time to put on the jock straps and run the ball down the throat in the fourth quarter and get first downs. We could not do it, but we did it. We did it that game, and that made me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Even though,
Honestly, that's a good point.
Yeah.
even though we struggled on offense.
It was a game that was going to happen. I'm glad we got out of the way. Our defense looked good. Offense looked very slow. Like Jack said multiple times earlier, Ryan Day, I do not think called a very good game at all. But it was just kind of one of those games. They're just like, I'm glad it's out of the way, I guess.
Yes.
For Ohio State fans, they won, and even though it was a gritty win, it was still they showed some like promise. I think Notre Dame could have easily won that game
Easily.
if they
Yeah,
would have
a
just
couple-
played just a
yeah,
little bit better. Because
yeah.
they played the pace of play was exactly what Notre Dame wanted. It was slow, it was kind of
Boring.
ugly,
Yeah.
it was field position.
And Ohio State's
Notre
supposed to be
Dame
All
was
Notre
best.
Dame had to
Notre-
do was
Notre Dame
make-
was better than I thought.
Make
though.
some plays, maybe a trick play here and there, and go win it. And they just kept it close to hand
Ohio
the
State's
entire
supposed to be one of the
game.
best offensive
and they
teams of
just
the past decade.
We were
just let
definitely
Ohio
missing
State win it.
JSN and Fleming though.
I don't know. If I was Notre
they're
Dame,
gonna
I would be really disappointed. I think that's a game we could have won.
That's a game I think they should have won. Ohio State lost their number one receiver very early into the game off a botched no-call targeting. The big takeaway from that game is Ohio State's defense is legit for the first time since 2019. The last time Ohio State had a legit defense, they contended for a national championship. Jim Knowles did an absolutely phenomenal job this offseason. Notre Dame didn't go, they went the last 41 minutes of that game without scoring, and every single Notre Dame possession in the second half was a punt. Every single one. I cannot say enough about the work of Jim Knowles in that game. He was phenomenal. The Buckeyes D-line historically has been great. The last 2 years it hasn't. You had guys like Michael Hall, brand new.
He looked phenomenal.
One of the best D-tackle debuts I've ever seen of a Buckeye D-tackle. He was fantastic. Sawyer looked good. Tommy Eichenberg, I want to apologize to Tommy Eichenberg.
You hated him for so long.
Last year, I hated Tommy Eichenberg more than almost any player I've ever hated in my life. Second closest was probably Tuff Borland. He was fun.
Hated Tough Borland.
Tough Borland sucked. He was one of the worst linebackers in the history of Ohio State football.
Ohio State always finds
You did
these-
hate Borland. And
Borland was
Tommy. You
Borland's
hated
legit.
them. I remember
no,
that.
because Borland never showed anything. Borland was a disgrace to put on the Ohio State football
They
jersey.
always find
No, Borland's a
these
disgrace.
hard-nosed.
No, Borland's not
Midwestern-
hard-nosed. Borland's lazy and can't run and can't cover and can't tackle and can't read a football field.
Borland.
Borland's
I remember
awful.
that.
No, Borland is a disgrace to wear an Ohio State jersey.
And Borland would have one of those games where he played really well against like Akron, and then he would just suck when it mattered. Like absolutely suck.
Well, Borland was out of shape. No, Borland was terrible. No, Tommy Eichenberg, though.
I hope like his sister watches.
What Tommy Eichenberg did last night was utterly phenomenal. He did everything he was
great.
supposed to do. He looked athletic, explosive. He had a sack. I didn't think Tommy Eichenberg was capable of getting a sack, and he was I'm just so thrilled with Tommy Eichenberg.
It gave me. I know it's early. We're not jumping to conclusions, but it gave me shades of that 2014 defense.
Yeah.
And that's how if you're the Buckeyes, that's how you win a national championship. You have a big time quarterback who has
Our offense will be fine. I'm not worried about
cannon
our
for an
offense.
arm. You have an elite running back who, by the way, also has
Elite
a nice
two running backs.
has a nice little secondary punch.
Lightning and Thunder, yeah.
They were good.
We're gonna give up
With
30
it-
to Arkansas
but-
State.
When Ohio State,
We're gonna give up 30 to Arkansas State.
I think we shut him out.
No, I think it's like 48-30.
it's definitely a trap game.
No,
No,
Arkansas.
it's not a trap. game.
Arkansas State.
Like I think I honestly, it's just
It's a trap game that we win.
Ohio
It's
State's
not
been
like
so inconsistent the past couple years. I feel like.
No, this year's different defensively because
I hope you're
last year you had Kerry Combs call the defense. So Kerry Combs,
Combs
great.
freaking-
No, he's a great secondary coach. He's a horrible defensive coordinator. He's never done it
the
before.
lines look good, except for I don't forget his name. I'm like on the offense.
Offensive line: Paris Johnson, DeJuan Jones,
No,
Luke
not Perry
Weibler,
Johnson. It's 79, I think. It was
DeJuan
the number.
Jones.
He had-
Yes,
DeJuan Jones,
DeJuan.
right tackle.
My lord, he had like maybe 400 holding calls, and there were so many that weren't called that he was just blatantly like just grabbing.
Ohio State just gets. They've tried to find the biggest morons they possibly
Paris
can. and throw 'em
Johnson,
on the offensive
that
line.
block he had. Did you guys see that?
Paris
Yeah,
Johnson's actually
Paris
good.
Johnson
No, he's
dominated
actually
last
good,
night.
yeah.
So did Donovan Jones. The O line honestly had a great showing because last year the O line got bullied. This year, maybe except one or two breakdowns in pass protection, they were good. And the last drive, you said it, when you needed your big boy money drive, that O-line dominated that D-line. They pushed him around and bullied him. It was good to see.
The Notre Dame freshman quarterback, although they didn't score,
Tyler Boot.
if you're a Notre Dame,
He
fan,
was all right.
If you're a Notre Dame fan, you
his name?
feel okay with him going
Buchner
forward.
or something. Tyler Buchner.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name, but he looked calm for that being
Notre
his
Dame will
first
be
college
okay.
game.
I don't hate Marcus Freeman either.
They were better than I
Like
thought
they'll
they
be
were gonna
they'll be top 15. They'll finish. I think. I don't think this isn't their year, but I think they'll be top 15. Like they'll be a competent.
No, they'll be a good team.
Yeah.
And plus, Marcus Freeman is well liked by
He is
media, the fans. They'll all get a generous ranking.
Yep.
All right. There's just really only one big game next week. If you want a little review or preview, I
What
guess.
is it?
It's probably Bama, Texas.
Oh yeah, easy.
I'm looking up and down the slate, and that's really it.
What is the line?
Well, Hunter Bear. It is Alabama minus 20 points.
Oh my God, I'll be hammering Texas. Absolutely hammering.
If you
The
were a
Texas
betting
spread
man,
or Texas
if you were
money
a
line?
betting man, you would be hammering Texas.
Sprinkle the money line, hammer the spread. Really? Absolutely.
Did you watch their opener?
Yeah, I watched
Were you
it a little
impressed?
bit.
Were you impressed with Ewers?
He did good.
He was all right.
He did good.
They did not let him throw downfield though.
You wait till Bama. He's going to be slinging it.
You think so?
Nick Saban's going to be confused. Nick Saban hasn't been confused in a
Well,
decade. He's
actually-
going to be confused.
Hunter, the 1 point Hunter has, Nick Saban has struggled historically. Obviously, the Buckeyes were an anomaly, and Watson was an anomaly. But the quarterbacks that Saban struggles to are little white guys that run around and sling the football.
And Quentin Ewers is a 13-inch wiener.
Who?
There's multiple.
Who?
The main guy
Name
was
one.
Johnny Manziel.
So like 7 years ago.
Johnny Football. Now,
And the guy and you make him seem like a little white guy that runs around throws. He won the Heisman.
Quentin Ewers.
I know, that was such an electric era. Money Manziel.
Name one other.
TJ Finley.
Well, I mean, he doesn't lose a lot.
But you made it seem like this is like his kryptonite. Little white guys that run around and throw the football. Quentin Ewers is 6'3", by the way.
I know. I was going to say, Quentin Ewers is a big dude. I don't know.
But he runs around.
I don't think.
No, he doesn't. He's a pocket passer.
I don't think I can name another player on Texas minus Quentin
Robinson.
Ewers.
B.J. Robinson.
Oh, I forgot about him. He's really good
He's
too.
a dog. He might be a top 3 or 5. One of
I think those are my
numbers.
teams
Can't
this
you?
year.
It may be 28
Well,
nothing
oh.
after the first quarter.
Hunter's
no.
teams are, Ohio State, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee. Only 4 teams.
Yeah, no, I think that's about right.
So a couple of years, you're going to be rooting for 3 teams in the SEC.
Those 4 teams might make the college football playoffs this year.
Oh my!
I think 3 of those teams lose this week.
Who does Tennessee play?
Huh?
Who does Tennessee
Who
play?
does Tennessee play?
I have no idea. But
If
I
it's
just
an SEC school, they could.
Oh, they play Florida.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll lose.
Okay, it's another statement win. Oh, I'm gonna be sitting pretty after this week.
Something special. Brewing
If we
down
do
in
an
the swamp.
episode a week from today, and I have to look at Hunter, and he went 3-0 on his
Oh my
picks.
god, that'd be amazing. even if Texas competes, like if they compete, because I think Texas is gonna be very good this year. Like in all seriousness, Bama's a very hard task, obviously, but I think
not for your little
Texas
Texas Longhorns.
I think is gonna surprise people. Like I legit think this might be a game for a long time.
I've been high on
Hunter,
Robinson
Hunter.
for a couple years too. If they run the ball,
This is not a nipple bet for me, but like
Bet
I
it.
would Texas is going to get blown out. Cuz Saban wants to blow out Texas too.
Oh yeah,
This is a game he
Yeah,
was going to have
good luck.
the guys going to get the guys will be up for this.
Alabama's going to be so prepared. Not to mention, Nick Saban in his career, he has only lost to his assistant coaches twice, Jimbo and Kirby. Once in the national championship when Bama was down their top 2 receivers, and then A&M, which you're bound to get one fluke game in like 30 games.
I think my teams go 3-1. Ohio State's gonna beat Arkansas State, obviously. Arkansas plays South Carolina. That should be the Gamecocks.
You honestly can go 1-3.
The Gamecocks suck.
Spencer Rattler.
Tennessee's gonna win. It'll be close, but Tennessee's gonna win.
They're going to beat Florida. Is it at Florida?
I don't know. I think so. I think it's actually at the Swamp.
no, it's not. They just played it. Florida just played at home.
Carter, they can play home back-to-back weeks.
I don't think they're playing home back to weeks.
Actually, I need to look. Tennessee. I don't hate the Florida liking. Like I think Florida's solid. Yeah, it's home for Tennessee.
It's at Tennessee.
I might go to that game. Wait, shit. Who'd they just play?
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Ball State?
They play Pitt next week. That's on me. I looked up Tennessee, and it said they played this game. But, okay.
So they play ranked Pittsburgh.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
Oh,
I knew
oh,
that.
yeah.
Florida plays Kentucky next week.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Tennessee's probably not even favored in that game.
So
it's home against Pitt. No, they're definitely not favored. Pitt opens as a 5-point underdog.
So,
Wow.
so you're automatically.
So
0-1.
Tennessee is favored.
God, if I was a betting man,
If you were a betting man.
I would hammer.
Tennessee is favored against Pitt.
-5.
hammer Pitt.
That's opening lines. Tennessee's favorite right now.
Yeah, so
And Pitt's
Tennessee's
ranked.
going to lose. Texas is going to try this weird little trick play in the first offensive drive, and it's going to be like first, it'll be like second, like 80 after they lose like 80, 70 yards.
Oh, I thought you were
going to
say they're-
It's going to be like amazing
See,
how
I
many
think it'll be-
yards they lose.
I think
in a
it'll be the
single
other
play.
way. I think Robinson breaks off like a 75-yard run on the opening drive, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, hook 'em horns, baby!" Twitter's blowing up. Here comes Texas. Bam wins by 30.
Wait till Texas is up 28-3 in the first half and they end up winning 59-3. Wait till it's a
I would
28-3?
cut off body parts. Alabama's down 20-3. I don't think it's ever happened in Nick Saban's 50-year coaching career.
If that's happening, there's a life flight helicopter that is taking Nick Saban's lifeless body to the hospital.
Probably. But like I do say occasionally, I am an anomaly. This honestly could be an anomaly game.
That's
All right, before we wrap up this episode, I think we should do this at the end of every college football recap. We should each say our Heisman favorite. And we can say whoever we want at the end of each episode throughout the entire college football season. I'll kick it off. After week 1, my Heisman favorite is a linebacker from Alabama, Will Anderson.
Really?
I think Will Anderson is the favorite to win the Heisman as of right now.
The favorite?
Mine.
I think it's a 3-way race.
Well, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking.
You really have 3 options.
Probably. I'll still go Stroud. I'll stick with Stroud. I think Stroud could have a very good year this year. I mean, he didn't play great week 1, but
I'll take Young.
Bryce.
You think he becomes the second player ever to repeat?
Back to back.
I mean, if you look at the landscape, it's most likely going to be a quarterback, and it's most likely one of the top teams. So Bama,
Ohio State,
Georgia. I don't think Stenson's going to win it quarterback-wise.
Yeah,
so basically, Bama, them, and
I'm going to stick with my
maybe
preseason,
Clemson, but I think Clemson's not going to be
preseason prediction too. I'm gonna keep Stroud, even though
I'm shocked you didn't say Quinn Ewers.
Me?
Yeah.
If it ended after week 1, obviously it wouldn't go to Stroud, but
Quinn Ewers is gonna be good.
He may be benched.
Quinn Ewers?
Quinn Ewers may be benched.
There were rumors Hudson Card was going to start before they gave to
That's
Ewers.
propaganda. God, I love Texas.
It may be 59-0 after 3 quarters, and they're just going to have to just put the other guy in.
Will Anderson might break his arm. My Heisman favorite. Oh, I hope he dominates. Quinn Ewers.
No, he's never seen Texas before. This is a new brand Texas, and now that Hunter is Texas approved, or
Texas is Hunter
approved. Yeah, they'll be sitting good. They'll be good this
They
year.
got the seal.
They might not win,
Okay.
but I think it'll be a very good, close game that'll surprise a lot of people.
I think we should end it on that.
Okay.
I think you should end it. You should just hold whatever thought you got to say.
All right. Anything else? Yeah. All good? All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.